When my friends and I were in 5th grade, like most groups, we wanted to have a club. A club that would give each of us an important role and be both entertaining and work. We didn't want to have some stupid immature club, so we decided to found Killsquad. We had no idea what we would do or where we would be stationed, but at least we had a name. Our club was not like the other children's clubs. We had no wooden treehouse, no flag or posters, all we had was determination. The club was founded by 4 of us: myself, my companions will go under codenames for the sake of anonymity, Blaximus, Maximilian, and Xavier, but Blaximus quickly adopted leadership. He lined us up one day at the Upper Brookside campus field and spoke to us in a manner that an army sergeant would have spoken to his soldiers. As I said before, our club was not like the others. He told us about his vision of Killsquad, that one day we would enlist the entire school, although we still had no objective or defined purpose. Soon after, we found our headquarters. A large bush on a ridge behind my house was large enough for us all to fit into. And then we found our calling, whittling. Blaximus and I plundered my kitchen one day after school and took 3 or 4 large kitchen knives up behind my ridge, as well as a handful of sticks and broken fence posts we were able to scavenge from the yard. We began whittling all kinds of weapons, particularly swords and spears. Sometime after, we decided that we were too mature to have a club named Killsquad and realized we needed a new name. Our hearts set on ROM, R-O-M, which is an acronym for Return of Medieval. We continued whittling our hearts out. Whenever our supply of fence posts grew slim, we went down to my downstairs tenant's fence and ripped a couple posts off from spots that would hopefully be unnoticed. Then we were back to work. For hours at a time we would sneak up to my ridge and work. This whole club had always been a secret from my parents, and from my brother for fear of him telling my parents. One day he had a friend over while me and Blaximus were working in the hideout. We decided to show my brother's friend, who at the time we were very fond of, our kitchen knives and whittled spears. All I remember was a reaction like, "Whoa, shit, what are you doing with those? Be careful, guys," or something like that. We quickly realized that him telling my brother was a very likely phenomenon, but it was out of our hands now. Sure enough, later that day, my brother came up to the ridge looking for us. We were hidden in a bush, but saw him coming, and we picked up our spears and chased him into a corner. Despite our best efforts, he easily slipped between us. Luckily, he never told our parents about the club. About a week later, me and my friends stopped caring about the club. We barely ever went up to the hideout and never talked about it. This went on for weeks. Throughout the whole time, I wanted to suggest we go whittle, but I didn't want to be labeled as immature, so I kept my mouth shut. A couple months passed until the event that relit the fires of Rome. I was doing some work for my mom outside, and my dad was also doing garden work up on the ridge one day, when I saw him walking up to me holding an incredibly rusty kitchen knife. I recognized it instantly as one of our whittling knives, and panicked. He asked me if I knew what it was doing up on the ridge. I told him I didn't know, but he could tell I was lying. He dropped it entirely, but for me it was a sign. I told my friends about it, and we all realized we missed the good old days of sneaking up into the hideout and whittling our hearts out. And thus, ROM was reborn, under a new name, Havoc. We moved our hideout into an upper layer of our ridge, and put down large pieces of flat wood to serve as floors, creating a nifty, much more concealed hideout. The whittling and plundering of my tenant's fence went on for a month or so, until I quickly realized that the fence was looking strangely bare. We decided that we would no longer use wood for my tenant's fence, and that quickly collapsed our input of material. We had no choice but to stop. But forever since then, it has been the first thing I remember when I think of my childhood. It would be a lie to say that I would be as good friends with Blaximus without having gone through this with him, and on top of that, it made me pretty good at whittling.